do you remember these things? About 4 years ago, you would have seen masks going up and down these hallways, and if you can believe it, those COVID freshmen are now seniors, and they're reflecting on how one pandemic changed their college experience. Well, the April 8th sky might be a lot darker than this one, but don't let that anticipated darkness get you down. Get excited because parts of Arkansas are in the path of totality for the 2024 solar eclipse. Now, for UPS workers, an August 1st strike is looming. The company says it's ready to up its offer on pay and benefits, and talks are set to continue next week. Well, I pulled out my phone and asked ChatGPT to write me an essay on American history, and it took about 1 second for the app to form this essay. Now, this convenience and speed is why so many college students are turning toward artificial intelligence to do their homework for them. And whether it's even accurate or not, universities are forming task forces to decide if it's cheating, plagiarism, or educational. But given Wynn's passing, the law says the governor can fill the seat until the next regular election. So Highland will serve until January 2025 after voters choose a new justice in the 2024 election cycle. Reportedly, Arkansas is getting loud. And you might be wondering the cause. Well, it's actually crypto mining. Several cities, including Arkadelphia, hurried to pass noise ordinances to prevent the noise from heading their way. Listen to this. That's the sound of a knock on a building that just turned, get this, 100 years old. It started as a dorm space, turned into an office space, but Cone Bottoms Hall is most notably known as the front door to Ouachita's campus. Well, I've got my hard hat on today because I'm at the Arkansas River, where the Army Corps of Engineers is working on a pretty large project, 445 miles long. Ouachita Student Foundation does such a wonderful job of putting on this show year after year. It's the 45th year of Tiger Tunes. If you know Jillian, you know she's a busy person. You're doing such a great job. Can you talk to us about some of your goals with both of these events and both of these positions?
Absolutely. So for Tiger Tunes, obviously our goal is to raise money for student scholarships. We really want to hit our goal of $200,000.
Now, February is also American Heart Month. Americans are encouraged to focus on cardiovascular health and fight the #1 killer of Americans this month. Now, the American Heart Association has given us 10 tips to stay heart healthy. CEO Matt Troop says over the past 6 months, they have attempted to negotiate with United, but they have found United unwilling to respond. This termination does impact those who participate in the Medicare program. Well, if you're like me, you're not sure how one artist can take a paintbrush like this and turn it into one of these masterpieces that you see all around me. But lucky for you, some of the best in the business that do just that are bringing their art to Moses Provine Gallery this year. A woman in Hot Springs Village has made sewing her retirement and has sewn over 100,000 gowns just like these for babies in the NICU and bringing light to families during these difficult times. And also new at 3, the Conway City Council in a special meeting today voted to approve an ordinance restricting noise from data centers, including crypto mines. Well, Arkansas sure has been hit with the winter weather this year. But one groundhog has the opportunity to change that for us. Now that is if he doesn't see his shadow. Well, a Central Arkansas boba tea business has unexpectedly closed multiple locations, including this one right here in Little Rock. And now employees are left wondering if they'll get their paychecks, and customers are just missing some of their favorite sweet treats. If you haven't noticed the impact on your bank account just yet, gas prices continue to inch higher. And while we're not exactly sure why Sonic has been closed, the hope is that students can see Cheese Tots once again and soon enough. Record-breaking numbers at Ouachita, and they will contribute to that alumni community, and it will continue to grow. How are you feeling about this just record-breaking year at Ouachita?
Well, we are encouraged by the continued growth and enrollment that students choose and want to be here. Their parents want them to be here.
Well, I'm here in front of Walker Conference Center, where on a typical day you'll see students walking in and out of. But earlier today, legislators actually filled this very space that you see behind me to hear from presenters from all across the state testifying on behalf of professional learning communities.
This is where we need to go.
The Professional Learning Communities Initiative, PLC, is a system of professionally developed partnerships in education working toward alignment to put a focus on deeper learning by answering 4 key questions. What do we expect students to learn? How do we know they are learning it? How do we respond when they do not learn? And how do we respond when they have already learned? Now, Arkansas is the only state with this sort of system.
And I'm not for sure people understand the impactfulness of this, because we are the only state in the nation who has a state initiative that's working this way within a professional learning community, but also embedding and having those partnerships with higher ed.
Dr. Missy Wally serves as project manager for PLC and expresses that it's all about action research to make sure students are thoroughly learning.
So making it an ongoing process, basically like it's an action research project, that you're bringing in the needs of the students, the evidence of the students, and you're focusing on their learning.
It goes beyond the curriculum and straight to collaborative efforts.
It's not I'm focusing on curriculum, but are the students understanding what I'm getting? If they're not, then what do we need to do? And we have those conversations in collaboration.
From the district level to the state level, the PLC initiative brings everyone to the table, including higher education.
We're bringing everybody to the table, and we're aligning the work.
So they came to Ouachita to talk about PLC. Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Jeff Root, was thrilled to welcome PLC presenters and over a dozen members of the Senate and House of Representatives to campus.
And they came in great numbers. Actually, more of them came than we expected. So they came from all over the state, and we're very, very pleased that they drove to Arkadelphia to have the meeting with us today.
Well, all around, this was a rare occurrence. It's rare that Arkansas has this system of professionally developed partnerships, and it's especially rare that Ouachita had the opportunity to host members of the Senate and House of Representatives. For Ouachita News, I'm Kaelin Clay. Well, one animal is abused every minute, which means there is a constant cycle of animal cruelty. But if you adopt, you have the opportunity to give one of these animals a new life and a place to call home.
I know that adoption saves a lot of lives here too, because we see so many animals in and out of these doors.
If you take a look around a place like Clark County Humane Society, you'll see many faces of animals who were once abused and now ready for adoption. Whitney Womble, director of the shelter, says she sees a lot of neglect with animals not only in Clark County, but everywhere.
Starvation, there's a lot, kind of in, not necessarily just in Clark County, but a lot of other surrounding cities have a problem with dogs that are starving, left abandoned. Stray populations here are really, really big, and so that goes along with these dogs are starving.
From the shelter to the couch, adoption makes an impact. Womble says with so many strays, it's hard to house all of them in a shelter, but adoption can help provide space for more and give animals the comfort found in a home.
It definitely helps clear shelters, but it also gets these animals off the streets and onto a couch, which is super helpful, because I know all of us that have animals love to have them just be lazy with us. Sit down and watch a movie with your dog next to you.
Womble specifically explains that adult animals are often overlooked in the adoption process because people gravitate toward the cuteness of a smaller animal.
That's the biggest population we have here as adults, because a lot of times when they hit about a year old, nobody really wants them anymore. Everybody loves cute puppies, but when they grow up, they just kind of stay.
If you're interested in animal adoption, Womble encourages those adopting to get acquainted with the animal beforehand to make sure it's a fit.
Get to know them, take them on a walk, just kind of learn them.
Clark County Humane Society has a Facebook page to keep you in the loop on how to adopt and how to volunteer at the shelter. To inquire about adopting in Clark County, give them a call at 870-245-2579. You just might be the home an animal needs. For Ouachita News, I'm Kaelin Clay.